I'm Dr. Jenna Bradley with Live Core Strong, and today I'm going to be making homemade baby food for my daughter who is 6 months old right now. I went shopping at Aldi's. I got everything at Aldi's, and I have a variety of vegetables and fruit. I'm going to make everything here in the kitchen homemade, and I'm going to show you the process right now. Alright, so what I have here are apples, sweet potatoes, bananas, broccoli, carrots, acorn squash, peas, pears, avocado, spinach, zucchini. We're going to make all this today. I also have a Vitamix blender, a steamer, some freezer Ziploc bags, foil, plastic wrap, some pans, spatulas, and we are going to put all the baby food in the ice cube trays. I also have a list of what we're making and some directions on how to make the baby food just for me to reference, and I'll include that in the notes. Okay, we're going to set the oven for 400 degrees. We are going to bake the sweet potatoes and the squash in the oven. The next step is washing all the vegetables in your sink. Okay, so we're going to do the sweet potatoes and the acorn squash next. For the sweet potatoes, we're going to take a sharp knife and poke some holes in the sweet potato, and then we're going to wrap it with foil. And all we're going to do is place all the wrapped sweet potatoes on the pan and put it in the oven at 400 degrees for 1 hour. So I have the acorn squash cut in half. We're going to take a spoon and you're going to take out all the seeds. And once you're done taking out all the seeds, you're going to place it meat side down in the baking dish that has about 1 inch to 2 inches of water. Once you have them in the baking dish, you're going to put it in the oven for about 45 minutes along with the sweet potatoes, and you're going to have the oven at 400 degrees. Okay, so now we are going to boil a pot of water for the peas to cook in. We're also going to chop up the broccoli to put into the steamer, and we're also going to put the carrots in the steamer. So if you don't have a steamer, you can get one of those baskets to go in a pot. I have a steamer. I really like it. I can put multiple things in it at the same time, and we're going to steam some vegetables in the steamer. Okay, we have boiling water. I'm going to dump the peas in, and they're going to cook for 10 minutes. Alright, so while the peas are cooking, we're going to chop up the broccoli, and we're going to put it in the steamer with the carrots, and we're going to cook all at the same time. Alright, we have all the vegetables cooking right now, and while they're cooking, we're going to peel the apples and the pears. So I just have a peeler, and we're just going to peel the apples, and when we're done peeling the apples, we're going to wash the peeler and wash all utensils before we go on to the next food. So next we're going to do the pears. Alright, so the peas are cooked and they're really soft, so I just put them in the strainer, and it looks like the steamer is almost ready to go. Alright, so now we're chopping the apples up. I'm just making them into big chunks so that we can put these in the steamer also. Alright, I just finished peeling the pears. I'm going to chop them up, but also the other vegetables finished in the steamer. So now I'm going to add the spinach to the steamer. We're going to steam that and keep working on the other fruits and vegetables. Alright, so I'm down to my last food to cook. We're on the zucchini. I'm peeling the zucchini, and then we're going to cut it up into chunks. And when we're done making our chunks of zucchini, we're going to put it in the steamer. You can hear Natalia woke up. She woke up from her nap. She's in the swing right now while I finish up. And we're going to steam this up, and we're going to keep on moving along. All right, this is what we have made so far. We have the peas, broccoli, pears, apples, carrots, spinach, and we're going to save the bananas and avocados for last. We have the zucchini in the steamer, and we have about 7 minutes left for the sweet potatoes and the acorn squash. So we're going to start blending. All right, so I have my Vitamix blender, and I'm going to start with blending the pears. So again, they're all soft. They were cooked, and we're going to put it in the blender and start blending. So I blend too much because I want it to be a little thick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some out and make an ice cube tray of thick pears, but then I'm going to leave some in there and keep blending and make it a little bit thinner. All right, so this is the thick pear puree. So I'm gonna do half the tray with the thick puree. And then once I'm done blending it again to make it thinner, I'm gonna put the thin puree on this side. So when I put the plastic wrap on top, I'm gonna label this thick, I'm gonna label this thin. All right, so this is the pears. This is the thin pears. I just wanna show you the consistency. It's really runny. So you can make this thicker by not blending it as much, or you can make it thinner by adding more water. You can also add your breast milk to make it thinner. That's my preferred method. We just finished blending the pears and now they're in the freezer, and we're gonna work on the apples next. With the pears, if they're already soft, you don't have to cook them, but if they're hard like mine, you wanna go ahead and cook them before you put them in the blender. You can also do the same for the apples. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the apples in the blender, and we're gonna blend them as well. If it's a little too thick, you can add some water to it to make it a little bit thinner. I also do a thick batch of apples and a thin batch of apples like we did with the pears. And before you use the blender after the pears, you want to wash everything again. So again, you want to wash everything between each food. Okay, moving on to some vegetables, we're going to do the peas. So the peas are already cooked. We're going to put those in the blender. And it's important that you save the reserved water that was in the pot. So you can use that to thin out the peas, and it also has a lot of nutrients in the water. You can see it's green. So let's go ahead and start blending it without the water and see what kind of thickness it is. Okay, so it needs a little bit of water here. So what you can do is just add some water, gradually add water, see how thick you want it and see how thin you want it, and then go from there and add it to the ice cube trays. So the sweet potatoes were in the oven for an hour, wrapped up, cooking. And what I like about this method is you can just peel off the skin without having to do it raw. And then you just take that and cut this up and blend that. So to show you what that looks like, I just peeled it off very easily. And it's real quick, real simple. I let these cool for about 10 to 20 minutes before I started peeling them, and that's what happens. All right, we're moving right along. So I'm going to next do the rest of these in the blender the same way that we did the other ones. All right, so we have the avocado and the banana. These are my go-to choices of food for baby food because you just buy it and you make the baby food right then and there. So this avocado was actually pretty hard. So before we're gonna cut it open, I rolled it really hard and got it really squishy. You can also do the same with the banana. Just sort of like squeeze it and make it a little soft before you open it up. All right, so clean knife, and I also cleaned the avocado before we cut. And I'm gonna just open it up and scoop it out. And we're gonna mush it all inside this bowl. So I mixed this for a good while, and you can see it's really thin and smooth. I'm trying to get as many clumps out as possible for the avocado, and the same for the banana, trying to get the clumps out, especially since my baby's only 6 months old. I wanted it pretty thin. All right, so the acorn squash is done. I've let it sit out for a little while. It's still really hot. You can see how soft it is. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut it, scoop it out, put it into a bowl, and then we're gonna blend it from here. So let's see what it looks like here. Yeah, it's really soft. So we're just gonna scoop all this out, put it in the bowl. Alrighty, so I have some of the fruits and vegetables already frozen from the ice cube trays and put into the Ziploc bags. The bags are labeled with the date on them, and you want to remove as much air as possible. And then I have some more ready to go in the ice cube trays to be frozen. And then once they're frozen, I'm going to put these in the Ziploc bags that are labeled as well. So I would recommend getting around 14 ice cube trays for all of this food that we have purchased. Here we have it. We have 12 bags of baby food. We've done a really good job of making all this in a short period of time, and I'm really glad that we have a nice variety of fruits and vegetables. Again, we have broccoli, pears, apples, zucchini, carrots, acorn squash, sweet potatoes, peas, and spinach. And then we also made the bananas and avocado on the fly. We just did those right when we needed them. So we've made a lot of baby food and it turned out really great. All of it has been frozen and bagged. Let's take a look now why we decided to make homemade baby food and the amount of savings we made with doing this. I broke down the information. We used 14 ice cube trays. In each ice cube tray, there were 18 cubes, which is 1 ounce per cube. That comes to a total of 252 servings, or 252 ounces of baby food. I wrote down all the food that we bought, which was organic, and I bought all of it at Aldi's. You can see the price that I spent for each item, and the total that I spent on all the baby food that we made today was $28.45. If we take the $28.45 and divide it by the number of ounces of baby food that we have, we come to 11 cents per ounce of organic baby food. That is all that we spent on this food today. If we're going to compare that to the store-bought organic baby food, which is typically around 30 cents per ounce, you definitely can see that there's a huge savings. 11 cents versus 30 cents per ounce. With the amount of money that we spent of $28.45, it only comes to 95 servings of store-bought baby food. So 95 servings compared to 252 servings is a big difference, and it's pretty clear that you will save a lot of money by making it at home. Shall we see now if our baby likes the food that we made? Let's take a look. Alrighty, so we made a whole bunch of baby food, and I'm gonna go ahead and feed it to Natalia here. I chose zucchini, so this is what it looks like out of the blender. So I'm gonna add a little bit of breast milk, just to give it a little bit more nutrients, and we'll see what she thinks. Mix it up here. Ready to eat? Okay, let's see what you think. Do you like it? Did I do a good job? Alrighty, good job. Alright, well we're just gonna keep feeding her, and thanks for coming and watching me cook all the baby food.